Hello and welcome to Indian Express Opinion. Our top story today, and it's a very, very important story, is the Supreme Court's judgment criminalizing sex with a child, with a wife who's a child under 18 years of age. But I have with me Anant Krishnan, the Indian Express's court reporter, who would explain the dimensions of this very complex story. Anant,
Right.
what does the Supreme Court say? What does it mean when it says that it's criminalizing sex with a wife who is a child or a juvenile under 18 years of age?
See, what happened is, under the Indian Penal Code,
Yeah.
the law that deals with rape, there is an exception clause
Okay.
which says that in the case of marriages where the girl is not under the age of 15,
Huh.
it will not amount to rape.
I see. So child marriages were
In
allowed
fact,
and they were
legalized.
okay.
In fact, this was a form of legalizing child marriages.
That's right.
Because at the time of framing of the law, considering the social conditions and all, they would have gone for it.
Right.
But what it subsequently did is, we had all these laws dealing with children, the Child Marriage Prohibition Act, the Prevention
Juvenile
of
Justice.
Cruelty
Okay.
to Children Act, the Juvenile Justice Act. All these have fixed the age of child as 18. The upper
the
limit,
Juvenile Justice
lower
Acts-
limit, the lower limit is 18.
Right.
And as well, the age of consent is generally taken to be 18. So there is a dichotomy. While Child Marriage Prohibition Act says marriage cannot happen if the girl is below 18,
That's right.
the IPC says even sex is allowed below 18.
So what the Supreme Court has done is basically to streamline and remove all these discrepancies and all these various acts.
Exactly.
So now it's saying is that you cannot. So does this also mean that you cannot marry somebody until the girl is 18 years of
That's
age?
already said. That's already said in the Child Marriage Prohibition Act.
That you cannot marry
Exactly. In the
under your 18 until you're 18 years of age.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now this further strengthens that provision.
Okay.
This further strengthens the provision and it gives it's a deterrent. It's
So what
one more
happens?
deterrent.
So what happens when parents in various parts of the country marry off their young girls who are below 18? What happens now?
It can always be prosecuted. It's what the law says is, in case of a child marriage,
Yeah.
it's voidable if one party wants, after attaining the age of maturity,
Yeah.
he or she can approach the court. She can approach the court and say, "Look, this has to be."
But this was
Declared
this
illegal.
was already there.
This is already
in
there.
the act. So
But
what's the
still-
difference then?
But still, child marriages are going on.
Right.
Still, now, this adds one more deterrent. This adds one more deterrent. Now,
So if the girl or boy in question, the parents can still marry them off. So are you saying that if they do not complain to the court or to the magistrate or to the local authorities, rape will still take place?
no, but this is a cognizable offence. Necessarily, you do not need a complaint. But from common logic, it flows that somebody has to make a complaint, right?
All right.
And so the girl will have to approach.
Okay. No, it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily flow.
It-
After all, if a policeman or a district magistrate sees that child marriages are taking place, they can go and stop the child.
For child marriage, yes. But for this,
Yeah.
you cannot prove what's happened in a bedroom, right?
Inside-
You need
inside a house.
Exactly. You need a witness.
Yeah.
So obviously she will have to complain.
Okay.
So that
So-
provision is there.
Right.
But there is
So
one more.
that is why it's a path-breaking judgment.
Exactly. It is a path-breaking judgment because but there is one more rider. The law already says that the complaint has to be made within 1 year of the offence.
I see.
So that remains.
But isn't that a deterrent? I mean, somebody who's fearful of not being able to complain about his or her parents.
I think there could be more challenges to this. There
Right.
could be more challenges to this law, to this order. There could be reviews in the form to make it more clearer.
Okay, now Anand, tell me, this doesn't include marital rape, does it?
No, you see,
So what has the Supreme Court said about marital rape?
The Supreme Court has specifically said in this order that we are not going into the issue of marital rape.
Okay,
That's a separate question pending before the Delhi High Court.
it's a separate case.
It's a separate case. But howsoever they may say that, but the very fact that this
It is interlinked.
it is interlinked. It could have an impact on the.
Because if you marry your daughter or your son below the age of 18, and if that's now become a cognizable offence, then any sex under the age of 18 constitutes marital or constitutes rape,
Constitutes
and
rape.
therefore marital rape.
I wouldn't. I will strictly restrict myself to the legal.
Okay.
What the court has said.
All right.
The court has said that we are not going into the issue of marital rape, so I'd confine myself to that. But I would only say this, that this order could have an implication on whatever petition may come up about marital rape subsequently.
So on the International Day of the Girl Child, which is today, which is a UNICEF declared day, this is a big order.
It is a big order because in this way,
big blow in favor of children's rights, especially girl children rights.
Exactly. The court has said that this exception clause creates a discrimination between girls, and this also cited the National Health Survey of 2005, which says that an alarming 48% of women
Girl
married
children are under the age of 18.
Exactly.
So after 70 years of independence, and we keep talking about vikas and development, but some things don't change.
Courts
will.
are always, the judiciary is always.
It's the tip of the spear, and society has to change, but I think courts have to push them towards this change.
Exactly.
But thank you so much, Anand, for your time. This is a hugely complex story. As Anand says, the Supreme Court hasn't dealt with the question of marital rape, which is a separate petition, and that we will watch, of course, in the days and weeks to come. But while we study this judgment, this is a big day, a big blow in favor of children's rights, especially in favor of girl children's rights. Meanwhile, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.